Malison: The Cursed City is a fantasy survival horror RPG published by Devolver Digital, currently in development, in which you investigate a sinister city filled with hundreds of grotesque monsters, demons, and weirdos. It focuses on exploration and atmosphere. Its main influences are both classic Western RPGs like Baldur's Gate, Japanese RPGs like Final Fantasy, as well as survival horror games such as the Resident Evil and Silent Hill series. As you sneak through the city, you encounter all sorts of strange characters, many of which you can speak to, trade with, recruit to your cause, steal from, or even attack if you so choose. You can approach this game in a million ways. It's up to you how you plan to survive. Your actions may lead to wealth, disaster, betrayal, or may even lead to uncovering some of the city's darkest secrets and the game's many hidden endings. The main character is no powerful hero. You awaken in the city transformed into a weak, frail goblin, and may need to rely on desperate measures for your survival. You will likely need help from other survivors you meet, and it is up to you to decide who you trust and recruit to your cause. Combat is in a classic turn-based style with a focus on managing scarce resources and building unique strategies by recruiting all sorts of different party members, equipping them, and teaching them new skills. Monsters move closer to you during combat, increasing the threat and tension as they begin using their more devastating attacks. You do not want them too close. I stream development work of Malison Tuesday to Friday at 7 p.m. EST on Twitch. I also have new development update streams on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. EST. There is also a Discord you can join for the game. Check below. that's annoying. There you go. Yeah, it keeps resetting the default microphone to some microphone I'm not using. It's annoying. There we go. Hey, folks. So, Godmutt. The idea of Godmutt is there is this shopkeeper, right? And basically, when you attack him, for every item that you didn't buy from him, he's stronger. Because all the items you didn't buy from him, he essentially, like, you get for free if you kill him. So the more items he had left, the stronger, the more powerful he is as an opponent. And you get a special achievement for fighting him past day 10, I think. I think it was day 10 or day 12 or something. That is the Godmutt achievement. But it doesn't actually... Right now, you just always fight the same guy and you get the achievement after day 10, which doesn't make sense. Day 12, right. So right now you get an achievement for fighting him when he's essentially got most of his stuff. I didn't make the achievement for when you fight him on the final day, because I think that's probably too tough. I will still sort of have a reward for doing that, because that's fighting him at his absolute strongest. But the achievement is going to be for fighting him on day 12. And so Godmutt is basically what I call when Mutt has basically all of his gear. But yeah, so this is something missing that I wanted to have for 2.1, but I just couldn't. I didn't have time to finish it to my satisfaction. So I've been delaying it now. I mean, there's a sketch here, and there's some ideas for what each of the parts are going to do. So there's kind of a plan here, and tonight I'll start actually executing on that plan. Now, the kind of tricky thing... The kind of tricky thing is that this means that all of these different body parts here need to have a bunch of alternate sprites for each of the items that they can have equipped, which is a little... That's a lot. That's a lot of variation. This one is probably the worst because this one can have... Actually, this one and the main body are probably the worst because they can have... There's 3 optional items on these. So that's going to be a bit of a mess. That's going to be a little bit of a mess. But it's not that bad. So yeah, there's going to be 5 parts. 5 parts for you to fight. Yeah, they're all going to have an effect. They are all going to have an effect. And what's interesting too is that it means that you can actually spend money essentially to make this fight harder. To make this fight easier. You can just buy some of the items that have abilities you find scariest to take them away from him. But of course that means that killing him now, you know, that doesn't do quite as much. But yeah, I think it's a really fun idea, so. Now I'm going to make some quick sketches. So I'm going to make a first implementation before the sprites are detailed here. Yeah, it's a pay-to-win fight, exactly. So first I'm going to separate each of the parts. So these are going to be the frames I use to cut. This is Phantasy Star 4 music. What he's doing in that back room? What do you mean? That back room is actually the front room. That back room is the front room. Yeah, you're just behind the counter. Okay, so this one is only going to have 2 variants. This is the one with the stun baton and the champion's belt. So this one's going to have a few variants. Mutt body 1. Mutt body 2. This one's going to have a bunch of variants. This is Mutt's main body. Mutt head. Yeah, Audrey's key won't count. This is Mutt body 3. This is body 4. So at first, these won't have different sprites. I'm just gonna sort of set them up.
Okay. So let's set this up. There's mod fight. I'm going to duplicate this just so I have more space here. So I don't lose this. Just to simplify working on this. Here's Godmutt. Okay. We're gonna have... this is Mutt old. I'm not sure how it could refer to these, actually. Since they have such different abilities. Am I giving them different names would make sense. I mean, they're just gonna be numbered anyway, but... yeah, could maybe do that. Okay, I need to move them a bit. Hmm. Okay. Gonna make his main body drift a little bit more. Yeah, let's see if that looks right. Just a little bit more of an adjustment. Here. There you go. So I'm trying to use the motion here to give depth. Like the parts closest to us move most, and the parts further away move less. I think that works. And that really helps to separate them too. Yeah, that really helps to separate them. It doesn't feel like one big mess of pixels, even though it's not detailed yet. They already feel more distinct. Yep, I think that works. Okay, now I'm going to make some basic sketch versions of just... oh, I'll need to make a tweak of this one too. This one will need to be like this, because it can't cut off like that in the middle. It's going to need to be like that. I don't mind fan merch as long as it's a small operation. As long as it's just like people, doing it mostly for fun, making small numbers of it. As long as it's not like as long as it's not a big enterprise, then I don't really, I don't really care. It's cool to see even. Okay, now let's make some variants of this one. He's already a fight.
Oh, it's time to stretch.
Mutt is already a fight in the current version. The thing missing is that he doesn't currently use all of his items. That's what I want to change. That's something that was in the plans from the start. That I wanted Mutt to use all of his items if you attack him. Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna need to make some variations for the main body. And also I'm gonna go make me some tea, folks. Yep. No. If you can buy items from him, and that does actually make it easier. Yeah, that's the idea, is that you essentially customize the fight by buying items. I think that's pretty fun. And the longer you wait before attacking, the stronger it is. And you only get the achievement if you attack him at least at day 12. So at this point, you need to have spent a lot of money to make him, to make him fightable. Or you can try to take him on with all items. And I would want him to be the hardest fight in the game if he's got all items. But we'll see. Hopefully he should... the trophy that's added on the final day is going to be an extra enemy in the fight. That's going to make things really, really bad. Yeah, then for his main body would just attack with the hands. Would just attack with hands if he doesn't have the saw. But yeah, that should be real. Hopefully that should be really, really tough. Mm-hmm. I'm not actually sure yet what I'll do with the trophy, but I do want it to be, like, the toughest edition. Because, like if you fight him while the trophy's there, you're clearly doing it just for the challenge, right? So it's like, that needs to be, taken into account, right? Like, you wanted to fight the trophy if you fight him with the trophy. So that should be, like, really nasty. That should make a huge, huge difference, I think. Alright, so I'm gonna go make me some tea. I'll be right back. I'm not sure yet what kind of tea it's gonna be, but I'm still on the chocolate milk tea thing right now. Still don't have. I'll be getting some regular milk tomorrow. All right. I'll be right back with some tea, and then, yeah, I'll be making a few variants of the main body sprite, just so I can, make the whole idea work. All right, I'll be right back.
Ooh, back for laughter. Back for laughter.
Okay. It's okay, Evan. You attack him. That's what happens if you attack him. Yep. He does drop... Well, no, he only drops his special loot. He doesn't drop his other items. You only get his special inventory for free if you beat him. Okay. So... This is... Mudhead... All gear. But yeah, gonna need to have a lot of variants of this. They don't cancel each other out in math, actually, because the increase from them actually is actually like if you could wear both, it would even out at like a 50% increase to both stats, I think. or something like that. But in this case, he's just gonna get the boost of both. He's just gonna fully get the boost of both if you got. This is. All right, and now we got some pairs. Sawhelm. Saw armor. Yeah, maybe. Then without the saw, we have Pickelhauben armor. That's going to be a bit of a pain, but it should work. Okay. And now let's check all of these. Ground floor. Mutts. So these I need to check. Okay. This is the spear. Yeah, maybe that would make sense. Okay. All right. Cafe saw. Breastplate. Right. It's gonna be a huge mess to actually set up. Okay, so the saw, the breastplate, the pickelhaube. Okay. Oh yeah, that's gonna be spaghetti code, all right. Man, that's gonna be such a mess that I should probably just program this like in the scripts instead. That's gonna be such a mess to program here. I'm gonna lose track of what I'm doing. I should just hand program it like in directly in JavaScript, I think. Yeah, that's gonna be way better. That's gonna be way better. Function setup Godmutt. Yeah, that should be here. That should be here like that instead. Because otherwise that's gonna be just a nightmare. There you go. Okay, now I will need to test a bunch of variables for this. So, okay, how do I set this up? I'm gonna make some basic variables here. Has saw. These can be constants actually. Const has saw is GSW and. Alright, I'll need to mess with this a little bit. I'm glad that it turns out RPG Maker is not unstable on my machine when I mess with the window. Because there's a lot of machines. It might be an operating system thing or something else, but to some people, RPG Maker is super unstable as soon as you reshape the window. My previous machine had the problem. And I think Eric Shoemaker, the co-writer and the composer, also has that problem. For RPG Maker on his machine. It's very frustrating. I think it might be like an operating system and a specific video card or something, or like a processor type or some sort of combination results in some headaches. Okay, so for the saw is switch 311. And it is event 56 and event 22. Now I need to remember the thing here. What was the thing again for checking self switches? Okay, here. That's it here. Self switches, value, yep. I love that song. Still my phone, still my ringtone. A little bit panic inducing, but sometimes that's appropriate, you know? Okay, so that's gonna make because I'm gonna need to check a lot of these values here. So I need to simplify these. So this tells me if you should have the saw, right? Then for the armor, That is 312. Was this the dev of Look Outside? Oh, well. I mean, I still am. That hasn't changed. Yes. Has armor. Dickelhaub is switch 303 and ID 12. So there you go, has helmet. Yeah, he could have some other items. He could use a healing item halfway through the fight one time. You could just quaff a bunch of healing potions and get a bunch of health back, but it just happens one time, just to give you a little bit of despair. Okay, now if has helmet and has armor and has saw. I should probably actually set these to some. I should probably actually use some switches for this, because that's gonna make programming the actual attacks easier if each of these corresponds to a single switch at the end. Yeah, that would actually be useful. Yeah, if I can just reduce these to single switches. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make a bunch of like kind of redundant switches just for this. GM has saw. Has armor. Has helmet. Okay. Has stun baton. Oh, actually, there's also... I almost forgot. There's also the crosswords, which doesn't appear visually, because otherwise there would be way too many sprites for the main body, but... So has stun baton. Has... champion belt. Has crossbow. Has training belt. Has lockpicks. Has venom dagger. Has trauma kit. Has lazy belt. Has cattle prod spear. Has coffee machine. has trophy. That's all of them. That's all of them. Baton. Okay. So now I've reduced these to just a few variables. I'm going to... So first one is 1281. If has helmet, then SSW 1281 to true. So that's going to be for reference. Just to make things easier for the battle. To just reduce these to a single thing. Okay. Now let's finish setting up the others. Now next is the stun baton. Oh, that's the spear. Stun baton. This is 301 and event 4. That's has baton. And next, the champion's belt. 313 and event 23. That's champ. Okay, next the crossbow. Has crossbow. Has crossbow. The variable is 306 and the event is 15. That's the crossbow. Then we got the training belt. Has train. Training belt is the red one. That is 305 and event 14. And finally the lockpicks. That is 307 and event 16. Unfortunately, these are not like in an easy numerical order. That could have really simplified all this, but obviously I set up this shop. You know, I set up this shop a long time ago. Venom dagger. 304 and event is 13. And the trauma kit. 302. Ooh, we're entering final boss territory soon. Very appropriate. Although the final level song isn't that great. It's one of those grating final levels. You know, there's a few video games out there that have really banger music, but for some reason, you know, the final level has like circus music. You know? So this is Phantasy Star 4. Also, Area of Sorrow also is guilty of this. You know, like they're trying to make the final level feel like, you know, weird, otherworldly madness nonsense, right? But the result is circus music. No, that doesn't ring a bell. Exploding Charon. Circus music. Has trauma is a funny variable name. Has trauma is a very funny variable name to put in. It means it stands for the trauma kit, but you know, also has lazy. Has train, has trauma, has lazy. Very good. All right, here come the final boss. I love these songs. I use them in my Doom WAD. Some of you might have played my Doom WAD. Ritual. This is where the music comes from. Some of the best final boss music in any RPG, I think. Spear and coffee. Spear is 309 and event is 18. Yeah, imagine having to do this in the tiny little battle interface. That would have been such a pain in the ass. And then we got coffee machine is 308. And 17. There we go. That should be all of these. So, okay, this turns all of these into just one value to check. Now, let's turn these into some switches for reference. Trauma kit. Oh, that's dagger. Yep. That is because RPG Maker MZ. When you play an RPG Maker MZ game, you don't know, but it actually is all just a browser game. Every RPG Maker MZ game is secretly a browser game that spawn a little instance of Chrome. So you're always opening a browser when you play an RPG MZ game. So it's all using JavaScript for the logic. I think MZ, I forget if MV is also like that, or if that started with MZ. There's the other song from my Doomwad ritual there. When should get started. I could do like a binary thing here, but I don't want to have the headache today. So, I'm just not going to do it. I'll just do it the old-fashioned way. With a bunch of in-bricked ifs. Man, nah, you know what? Nah. I'll do it the way that's slower, but that looks better. But it's still not the proper way to do it. With a bunch of redundant code, but it's very clear what's going on at least. There's a lot of redundancy in this one, but it's also the most legible. Kevin is a sweetheart. Kevin is canonically a sweetheart. See, it's in the worm's best interest that the few remaining humans thrive. So they're really, you know, the worms are really, you know, the best allies. The best allies humanity can hope for. I think it did blossom into something beautiful. You know. There are cathedrals everywhere for those with eyes to see. Okay, now let's see. Now I need to do the image changes here. Change sprite 1. Yeah, okay. All gear. Saw armor.
Oh no, it's time to stretch.
Saw helm. Helm armor. Armor. Saw. Helmet. And this one, no changes. Okay. Let's see if I can get at least just basic... You know, if I can just get basic work in here. Let's add a cheat at the start of the fight so I can set it up however I want. If this is a battle test, cheats on, and then it's going to ask you for each. So set to normal run, set to easy mode, set to normal mode, set to hard mode. Okay, and then we're gonna have pick quick item setup. Oh, that's the end of that. The end of that soundtrack. Alright, what do I put on next after this? How about the Snatcher soundtrack? Just a little bit. Just a little bit of Snatcher. And then the Lisa soundtrack. Let's do that. Okay, let's see. So quick setup here. It's going to be mutt no items, mutt random items, mutt choose items, mutt random items, mutt all items. In this one, I set them all to true. Lock P. Lock P. There we go. Yep. Trauma kit. Pickelhaube. Poison dagger. Training belt. Crossbow. Lockpicks. Coffee machine. Spear. Boo, 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 doo. Do, 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 do. Snatches. New Eugene. New Eugene. This one is spear. And coffee. Spear. Coffee. No items. This one is crossbow. This one is training belt. This one is lockpicks. Then dagger, trauma, lazy. Dagger. Trauma. Lazy. Okay, this should give me... This should let me set any of these. And choose final extras. Crosswords, trophy, neither. So we got crosswords and trophy. Just crosswords. Just coffee. And there's not gonna I'm not gonna put in the random one yet. Okay. So this should only affect Godmutt for now. This should only affect Godmutt. Like the main body, I mean. Okay, let's test it. Cheats on, normal, quick item setup. Let's go with all items. Grabs a special inventory to defend himself. That didn't work, actually. Let's see. Oh, wait. Oh, did I not save? No, I saved. Huh. Oh, I think I know. I didn't set up the enemy base sprite. Yes, this should be NPCs slash Godmutt slash Mutt. Mutt body. Actually, Mutt head. Okay, this should work, I think. Okay. Normal mode. All items. Still not. Okay, let's put in a breakpoint this time and see where it's failing. So this time before going in, I'm gonna put a breakpoint. I put a breakpoint right here. Let's see what's happening. All items. Oh, I just realized what I did. Yeah, oh. I did it backwards. These need to be... Oh, whoops. These need to check if they're false, not if they're true. So you put this to check if it's the opposite. Okay, let's see now. All items. Aha! That's working. Let's test now a partial. So head items is going to be partial, and I'm going to go with the saw and helmet without the armor, and the rest doesn't matter. There you go. That works. So the armor fits the actual thing. The others don't have their sprites set up yet, but this is just to, you know, test the principle of the thing. So now I need to actually think about how I want to set up the actual mechanics of the fight here. So it's not going to be on the end of the turn. This is going to be logic for Mutt head. And I'm going to test if Mutt head is appeared for this. Although this shouldn't matter because Mutt is always the main body there is I mean, this one's going to be simple. Conditional branch. And just depending on whether he's got a saw or not, he's going to use either the chainsaw attack or he's going to punch. There's the saw attack on a random target. What could it be here? It's gonna be either the saw or the mighty punch, depending on whether or not he's got the chainsaw. There's probably gonna be a whole logic here for the yeah, I did see Paranoia Agent a long time ago though. So this is going to be for Mutt's head. And then there's going to be an extra action every 2 or every 3 turns, maybe. In case you got crosswords. Okay. I have no idea. Okay, let's put in the other logic here. So for now, it's gonna be it's really simple. Mutt's head extra action. Then we got body 1, baton, and belt. So here, if you got stun baton, Body 2 is gonna be crossbow, belt, lockpicks, regular attacks if you don't have the crossbow. Otherwise, it's gonna be various bolts. Zero to 10. What is there a way to quickly check the current turn index? Let's see. RPG Maker MZ current turn index. Okay, apparently there's a game troop turn count. Is that true? That's just the top of the Google results. That might be some useless thing. Turn count. Okay, I can just search this then. Okay, good, that works. So here, depending on the turn index, it's going to use different... Yeah. I think every other turn is going to use a regular bolt. So on even turns, it's going to use a regular bolt, and on odd turns, it's going to use a special bolt. So I need to set this variable here to turn count, reserve 3, and then I'm going to do a modulus. So this modulus 2 and then good old modulus. Okay, good old modulus. And even turns, normal bolt. Odd turns, special bolt. Normal bolt here, special bolt here. So to pick a special bolt, there's going to be flame bolt, it's going to be acid bolt, there's flame bolt, there's acid bolt, there's explosive bolt, and there's also weird bolt, but I don't think you can actually find those. So just go for explosive, acid, or flame. And this time here, it's gonna again pick turn count. And this time for turn count, it's going to want to do with this one. So at this here, it's already every other turn, but even. Oh, actually, I should make this the even turns. So the odd turns are gonna be the regular bolts, and the even turns are gonna be. That's gonna be easier that way, because then I can divide the current number of turn by 2. And then I can do modulus 3. And then I can check which value from 0 to 3 that it is. 0, 1, or 3. 0, 1, or 2. And then it's just going to use a different bolt depending. So it's going to be fire, acid, explosive. There we go. Well, the idea is that depending on when you fight him, he's going to have a very different... it's going to be much, much harder. The later you fight him and the fewer items you've bought from him, the harder he's going to be. And right now, the idea is that if you fight him on the final day and you haven't bought any items, he should be the hardest fight in the game. Like, that would be like a special challenge you do for, like, the hell of it, you know? So that would be like an absurdly difficult fight. At least that's what I want. And if you fight him like about halfway through the game, it would be like one of the most challenging fights in the game. Alright, so there you go. So now he's got... So every other turn, he alternates between regular bolt and special bolt. He should start on a regular bolt. Yeah, you should start on the regular bolt, I think. We'll see. So that is for crossbow, belt, and lockpicks. Now let's do the off action. The extra action here is... So this one... It's Mutt's torso 1. This one is Mutt's torso 2. This one starts at turn 3, and it's every 3 turns. And it is Mutt's torso 3. And this one checks if you got the lockpicks. And if you do... It's going to use the lockout ability. Lockpick action. Crossword action. Okay, that's body 2. Now let's do body 3. Body 3 is Venom Dagger, Trauma Kit, and Lazy Belt. Body 3. Poison Dagger, Lazy Belt, Trauma Kit. If you got the Venom Dagger. Otherwise, it's a regular attack. Force action. Venom Stab. Wait, Venom Stab might be an absurd one. Okay, it's not that bad. Now, the Trauma Kit move. Staunch wounds, okay. My torso, staunch wounds. Trauma Kit action. Cattle Prod Spear.
it's time to stretch.
Oh. Alright, little stretch, folks. Let's do a little stretch. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Now, if he's got a coffee machine. Okay. This is most of it, but I still have a few more things to do here. First, the champion belt. The effect of the champion belt is going to be to basically boost the stats of every you go. Boost the attack and life, and maybe also... like this. That's the champion's belt. Then the training belt. So what should Lazy Belt do? Because, it's not gonna do much to a boss, because bosses don't really run out of MP in this. Not often, anyway. Just gonna give him some life regen for some reason. There you go. So, the armor gives physical resistance to only Mutt's main body. The helmet adds extra defense to Mutt's main body. The champion belt adds extra attack to Mutt's main body. To every part of Mutt gets extra attack from the champion belt. The training belt boosts the max life of the entire body. The lazy belt adds a 5% life regen to the entire body. And on top of that, everything basically adds various attacks. The main weapons of each part tend to change the attack, the main attack of that part. And now, one issue with this is that since I'm using this logic here, that means he's always going to act first in the turn, I think, which is a little unfortunate. I can't really put this logic in the enemy normal turn order. So that means that agility has kind of a limited use in this fight. Like all of his parts act first. And then you act, and then his parts get their secondary actions. And there aren't really ways to fix that as far as I know. It's a little unfortunate. I could make it that at least his regular attacks, if he has regular attacks, maybe I could actually mess with this. Yeah, maybe actually for some of them, maybe I could actually make this work here. If saw, and that is only if the switch has saw is on. So if he has the saw, then this is used. And unfortunately, this is the big issue with action patterns of enemies. You cannot have more than one condition at once. And that's the big limitation of these. So I could have the saw here, and then the mighty punch. And this one could be every other turn, starting from turn 1. And otherwise, it does regular attacks. And all of these here could be regular attacks. This is the cattle prod one. Stun gun. I could at least remove these. Yeah, I could remove the regular attacks from this and let the enemy AI handle those. So at least if you remove their special weapons, they do have regular sort of like normal attack patterns. And for this one, I could remove all of it here. Because the saw here should handle all of this. This one here would be stun gun or punch. For the stun baton. For the crossbow, I couldn't really do it though. Maybe the regular bolts. Yeah, I could maybe remove the regular bolts from here. So this one here at least. The standard bolt at least could use the regular timing. If he's got the crossbow. This one is the dagger. Venom stab. And this one here. Has the spear. Okay, so that should minimize this a bit now. And there's only a few special attacks that are going to disrupt the normal order of turns. And otherwise, this should work, I think. Okay. Okay, let's test this out. Now, this is not going to visually work fully here. Visually, it's only the main body that's going to change to fit the items. But let's check for all items right now. Let's see what this does to my poor team of Sam and Joel. Venom Stab. Penetrate. One hit kill. Chainsaw. Crossbow bolt. Stun gun. Paralyzed. Yep. Yep. And also regen. Yep. That's pretty rough. That's pretty rough. Alright, I wasn't really prepared here for a fight, though. Let's like go in with a little bit more prep. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Let's see what all items mutt feels like right now. Evaded. Boosting defense. Okay. Well, Sam died in one hit because that's not the right move for this. That is not the correct move. That is not good. The teeth cannon does a lot of good work, though. Just no damage on that chainsaw for some reason. That's pretty nasty. I mean, again, this isn't a very well prepared team. I just throw on some random items. But that's pretty bad. That's pretty nasty. This is with all items here. Oh, maybe it's because he's attacking people that have too high defense. Because the thing with the chainsaw is that it does multi-hits with a weaker attack. And of course... Yep. The more items you buy, the less attacks he has. But also the less free items you get for killing him. The trophy right now basically just adds the equivalent of a black hole attack every 2 turns. Which is pretty nasty. It has a different name, but it's basically just black hole. Every 2 turns. Mud absorbs all light. Right now it's just a passive. It just makes the fight more miserable. Well, I did rebalance a lot of his items to be better. I tried to make it that basically all of the items are good now. That they're all worth using, even the Venom dagger. Okay, let's try this again. Let's try this again. With slightly tweaked attacks. Okay. Yeah, I think, let me just look at this attack. It might be because of the high defense I gave everybody. And also Ernest is doing the defensive attack. Yeah. The chainsaw attack. It multiplies the attack stat by 35%. So that's already, so it goes from 40 to, you know, like to 15. Maybe even 12. But then tries to do this 3 times, but that's not enough to compensate. Let's try that again. $96. Hmm. That acid bolt, holy shit. Okay, normally... maybe that... Was that a crit? The acid bolt? Was it a crit? No, there's no crits here. Huh. Okay, right, yeah. It was bolstered by this as well. Okay. So it was 50. It was 50 plus 40 from the attack. But also that 50 here was got an extra 25%. Yeah, okay, that checks out. Yeah, that's big damage. try this again. Five. Crit on the crossbow bolt. Okay, now it's 80 for the crossbow bolt. Oof. That is rough. That is rough. Damn. All right, well. Now, again, this isn't a proper, you know... I'll need to test what it's like when you go in about halfway through the game. Because this would be Mutt as his most dangerous. And you would presumably be really well prepared if you attack that. So it's kind of hard to tell if this is, like, completely out of question, way too tough. Or if, like, I actually went in there well prepared, if it wouldn't be that bad. It might be really that bad, though. I'll need to run some tests. I'll need to run some tests so I'm more, you know, I'm more prepared a bit. One thing is that, Joel's... teeth cannon here. Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably put these on... I will probably put these on the beta branch, yes. So let's put the difficulty level changes. That gives Mutt. So both of these gives Mutt an action done once every 3 turns. Lockpicks gives Mutt essentially Kaylee's ability of locking one of your party members for 1 turn. And Crossword Challenge gives Mutt the confusing word ability. So it can just confuse one of your characters. It's Kaylee's ability to lock one of your characters. Gets to use it every 3 turns. I'm reducing the regen of the life belt, the lazy belt a bit.
No, it's time to stretch.
This is pretty enough. This is pretty enough. This is pretty enough. Alright. I'll need to work a little bit more on balancing this, but I'll need to set up like a proper way to test this. I'll need to set up a proper way to test this. But you know, at least all the basics are there for now. Well, the only basics left right now is a bunch of... Only the head changes its price based on which items are left. So I'll need to make some variants of all of them so you can see visually which weapons he's got. But yeah, that should be pretty fun. I have yet to actually see what if Trauma Kit actually works well. We'll see. We'll see if Trauma Kit actually does its thing. I'll probably like program it so that with Trauma Kit, so Trauma Kit is used every 4 turns. First time on turn 4. And yeah, he's just gonna give a huge heal to one of his parts. And I'm gonna try to make him like prioritize whichever part is most hurt. And I'm gonna try to make sure that you can actually use stun and paralysis to completely disable the various parts. Which, you know, very often, scripted actions can't be stopped with stun or paralysis. So I'll need to make sure that you can stop them, because otherwise it's gonna be really, really rough to manage all of these attacks coming your way on every turn. All right, but yeah. That should be interesting. We'll see. We will see. Oh, and one thing I might ask for help for people to like send me saves where they're like close to, where they can currently access this fight with like a really strong party to see if I can use if I can beat it with that setup. But yeah. So yeah, that wasn't too bad. Setting this up wasn't too bad. Yeah, now it's all about balancing and polish on this guy. Yeah, we'll see. So yeah, I think I'll need to think a little bit about like, okay, I kind of have an idea that, okay, if all of his items are there, he should be, like, the hardest boss in the game, sure. But I need to think a little bit more about everything leading up to that, you know? Like, with no items at all, if you bought every item or you attack him really early, how hard should he be then? I feel like it should be challenging, but not, like, that big a deal, because it's actually a bad idea to attack him when he has no items. It's basically only at your detriment if you attack him when he's got nothing. You're just losing a shot for no benefit whatsoever. Let's see what it's like if I just give him no items. No items, Mutt. There you go. Now he's got no items at all. So all he does is punching. Well, we'll see. He also should have way less health. Let's see what it's like. So here, yeah, they just do regular attacks instead. Much less scary. Still a lot of attacks coming your way, but... yeah, just regular attacks here. Just regular punches. Yeah. Also, his main body does have an extra attack. So his main body can do a stunning punch. So the main body is still a threat without a weapon. But yeah, look at that first turn. Look at the difference it makes on the first turn if he doesn't have any items. I barely feel it. Let's just mash. I feel like I might win just by mashing attack here. Although he is eventually going to do the strong punches. And again, you only have to beat this head. The other stuff is easier to kill, though. Oh! Wait, the trophy is still going. That's not right. The trophy isn't checking the correct... Yeah, the trophy action is still going off. That's not supposed to. I'll need to fix that. The rest seems normal, though. I might actually add a floating trophy behind him. A floating trophy, like, in the middle. That, like, moves around in a figure 8. Yep, he wears everything. He wears everything you don't buy. There you go. So yeah, with no items, it's a big difference. With no items, that is a big difference. I feel like, you know, I mean, I might give him one extra move that he has no matter what. Like maybe he can entangle the party or something. You know, it's basically like a giant snake. So that might make sense. But yeah, has trophy. All right, just making sure that he only does this if he has the trophy. All right, cool. Yeah, so I might actually add a specific, like a trophy enemy as well, that you can maybe take down to stop the constant flow of black hole. That way, at least that gives you like some sort of something you can do to stop it. No, day one Mutt would be fairly easy. Day one Mutt would not have any items. Well, would have one item. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of tricky to get to the ground floor on day one, but it can be done. If you know what you're doing, you can get to ground floor on day one. Yep, that's the idea. The longer you wait to fight him, the harder he is. That's the whole idea. The more items he ends up with in his inventory, and every item he has adds something to the fight. Yep. And that's fun too because the items he gets are random. That means like every time you get to Mutt, he's like it essentially generates a completely new fight for you to deal with. I think that's pretty cool. Like most people get to Mutt on maybe day 6, about halfway through. Like not I mean, get to behind Mutt, you know, get to where you could attack him. You know? Most people unlock the elevator. I think around maybe day 5, day 6. maybe 7, maybe 8. So yeah, that's like a big random set of items. And sometimes you could be lucky and maybe he didn't really spawn with much. Or maybe he spawned with like a few nasty items, but you could buy one of them, right? Yeah, you wouldn't need to wait to fix the elevator to fight him. Yeah. If you don't sleep at all, if you don't go back home and you just run through the whole game. Yeah, I mean there's an achievement for beating the game in 3 days, in 3 in-game days. So yeah, people can absolutely beat it in 2. People can absolutely beat the game in 2 days. If you just know what you're doing. If you just know what you're doing, it's especially on easy mode, where you don't really need to worry too much about. You can just where you basically, you really don't need to worry about getting ambushed by the shadows because you get autosaves all the time, all right, let's yeah, that's gonna be it for tonight's stream, folks. So that was pretty productive. Yeah, I didn't expect that to be basically. I mean, I'm not done. Obviously, I'm not done with Godmutt there, but like basically the whole thing is working. The whole basis of the idea is working, and that's pretty fun. I like that. Pretty happy with that. All right, before I go, as usual, here is my Patreon. Please have a look. And now let's look at. Let's see if anyone's playing the game. Oh, there might be someone playing the game. Okay. Oh, Jahir is playing. Yeah, Jahir is playing. Let's raid him.
Boosts one of your
He's
characters'
doing a
health.
Cursed X-Rang Unity
two
all
characters that
bosses
have
run. Let's raid him. All right, folks. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and take care.
Okay, very, very careful. There's so many things to memorize on the game. Like, you have to memorize doing this